Good morning. It's Friday, November 21st, and welcome to the Riel Community Committee meeting. I'm joined in the council chamber by Councillor Mays. Councillor Allard is on his way. I am Councillor Chambers of the St. Norbert St. River Ward. We're also in committee with our clerk, Zach Mohan, and we'll likely be joined by our planners, Devin Clark and Mr. Nuttall.
Steve Nuttall.
Steve Nuttall, yes, thank you. We are going to commence at item number 4 as we have no delegations. And I do want to, we do have two delegations, but I do want to start by acknowledging that we are gathered here on Treaty 1 territory, the ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe, the Ojibwe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dene, and Dakota peoples, and the birthplace of the Red River Métis Nation. And the water that we drink is sourced from Shoal Lake 40, located in Treaty 3 territory. We have 2 delegations today, and I will turn it over to our clerk.
For sure, just one delegation, but if we could also get a motion to pass the minutes of the October 29th meeting?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay.
And we'll welcome, I don't think we've had Brittany from Clerks here before on the sound table, so good to have you here.
Okay. First, for our delegation today, we have registered Veronica Eno, Project Manager, Qualico, to be heard with respect to non-conforming approach. That'll be report 4.
Okay.
Good morning.
Just state your name at the podium, and you have 5 minutes to present.
Okay, I don't think it'll take 5 minutes, but Veronica Eno with Qualico, 1 Dr. David Friesen Drive. Mostly just here to answer any questions, if you have any on the application, item number 4. We have a couple of lots on the ends of the blocks that are adjacent to a public lane. Typically, you're required to take access off of the lane, but in order to make the whole block consistent here, we've asked for the allowance to have front driveways on those 4 lots, and the administration's supportive of that. So.
Okay.
Can you just walk me through, so so everybody, just, it's counterintuitive a bit. I mean, I don't really, it doesn't bother me, but just, so why is the lane, the lane is going, the lane is
The lane's on the
flanking them.
side.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, from the site plan, it looks like it's the 4 end property.
Yeah,
long as
so technically, it's adjacent to a lane, but
Got it.
you know,
Okay, no, that.
practicality, it doesn't work.
And where this is phase, this is the final phase, isn't it? This is.
Yes, it is. The
yeah.
last road has been paved in Sage Creek. I don't think I'll be able to be here much for Sage Creek anymore.
Well, there's always Sage Creek North, but that's Councillor Wyatt's problem. Yeah, so this is way down, this is like the southwest bit of
Correct.
Sage Creek. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, good. All right, no, that's, it seems pretty straightforward, and nice to see the admin supporting one of these, actually.
And how can you say no to Skipper Lane?
Exactly.
All right, thank you very
The
much.
names have gotten more conservative over the years, from Diamond Dust, or whatever that thing was, Diamond Dogs, to Skipper, but so
So-
it goes.
And with that, we will start with item number 4. There is a public service recommendation to support this. So I'll leave it to you to
I'll move that the recommendation of the Winnipeg Public Service be concurred in and the application for a non-conforming approach be approved.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Oddly, then, I have to provide supporting reasons. Yeah, it's, the lane is flanking, so to require access off of that would put these 4 corner lots at odds, so it would be a different treatment than everyone else. And, I mean, it is a neighborhood that's actually pretty creatively and commendably used lanes, as is Bonavista, actually. So it's not that we're getting away from that whole model, we're actually kind of moving back to it. But in this particular instance, that these lots, it would be incongruous to have them coming in off the lane. So those are my reasons.
Okay. I've already called the question, though.
Just a second question for the supporting reasons.
Okay. So
We have
all
to
those,
clean that up.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, on to item 5, and I'll turn the chair over to Councillor Mays. This is a reallocation of the grant, of a grant that was provided to the Maple Grove Rugby Association. This grant was provided back in December of 2017 to assist with the building upgrade program, project, prior to my time on council. During or post-COVID, Maple Grove Rugby Association was the recipient of 3 CCAN trailers, which they have been utilizing for a lot of their equipment. So the need right now for the $45,000 equipment shed is not required, but they do have a greater need in the sense that they're looking at a water cistern to improve their access to potable water. It will allow them to host a lot more events at the Maple Grove Rugby Park, including attracting national events to this venue. I note that back in 2 years ago, they were host during the World Fire Police Games to not only rugby, but to other sports as well that took place at that venue. And again, having access to potable water, not only for drinking, but for showering and things like that, make it a lot more functional. So I'm requesting that the $45,000 grant that is still in account for the Maple Grove Rugby Association be converted over to the cistern project. And I'm also topping that up with the Communities Funds grant that is available to get them closer towards having potable water at this site. So I think it's a good project. I think, again, it'll give them the opportunity to attract a lot more events, which, again, are hotel stays, restaurant meals, and things like that, that help with tourism here in our city. So with that, I'm just hoping that we can get this over the goal line, so to speak.
A few words on this, because this was my motion in 2017 when I had Maple Grove, and it builds on a grant that Councillor Steves gave them in 2010. So I'm glad Councillor Chambers has caught this, and we got to get them to spend the money, basically. And it sounds like he's adding in some from his communities fund, so that's appreciated. The great group, this is where it kind of mattered that we redid ward boundaries, because I used to have these 2 regional parks I had to go to bat for, St. Vital Park and Maple Grove, and now I just have to go to bat for St. Vital, and Marcus has to go to bat for Maple Grove. It's worked out rather well. I think there's like $1 million plus Mustangs Field to prove that I don't think I would have been able to get. So some good work on behalf of that park by Councillor Chambers, and these guys are long-term clients in there, and really have done a good job building it up. So happy to support.
And even before you call the question, one other tidbit. Again, I mentioned that the fact that they were the recipients of 3 CCAN trailers, of which they have agreed to donate one of the trailers to Henteliff Park, who is also seeking, one of these CCAN trailers for their equipment and for their operations through the summer. So again, it's a win-win in that Maple Grove Rugby Park wasn't using one of them and is able to donate it over, where Henteliff Park's trailer currently is in disrepair and not functional. So again, a win-win for Henteliff Park and for Maple Grove Rugby Association.
Well done. All right, we will, what's the question? It's just a motion.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay, I'll call the question then. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's carried. Do we want to deal with number 6, or do we want to wait for Matt on that one? I think we have to wait for Matt on 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Up to your discretion, councillors.
Yeah, do you want to just?
Yeah. Dispense with it. It's
Chair
your-
back to count. So I'll move, do I need a motion to consider an addendum?
For new business, yes.
I'll move that motion then.
All those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Carried.
Yeah, so this is a motion arising out of, there's a little fund that looks like it's going to get approval at council next week to reallocate some of the housing accelerator money into this catch basin program, which I've had some questions about. But the real question I want to get answered is that the report explicitly mentions Clause 8 of the Environment Act license. Fair enough. We can't increase the flow into these combined sewer systems. But Clause 8 also talks about how the licensee shall use green technology and innovative practices. What exactly does that mean in the eyes of our staff? That's what I want to get an answer on. And it's not just, oh, we put in a bunch of cement and then we're saving, you know, it helps reduce flow in the sewer system. No, that's not green technology. That's gray infrastructure. So unhelpfully, the regulation doesn't define green technology. So I look forward to hearing from our staff as to what it is they plan to do with this $2.5 million.
So the funding is already there, but again, it suggests green technology?
Well, it's like, tell us, if you're going to cite Clause 8 of the Environment Act license and saying we need to reallocate some money to do these catch basins, okay, but how are you going to do it in a way that uses green technology and innovative practices? Are we sure the province, like, in some ways that we may need, staff may be working with the province on this, I don't know, but it would be good to have a report to Water and Waste Committee, because the fund started at EPC, so there's no way to ask these questions at Water Committee.
So would this also qualify under FCM's green initiatives?
I think it's federal money, it's half money that we got to use or lose, so I think this was, there was, the main infrastructure thing, the $12 million thing was undersubscribed, and we need to get it out the door, and this seemed to be, I'm not saying I'd vote against it, I'm just saying it's, what do we mean by this? Councillor Allard is here.
Okay.
Good day, sirs.
Good day. We've knocked off numbers 4 and 5, and we're debating number 6,
Yes.
which was an add-on motion.
So,
I will, as is the tradition of this committee, move this motion forward
okay,
so that it may be debated at a higher level committee.
That is our, thank you, that is our tradition.
okay, I will call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, I will turn the chair over to Councillor Allard for items 1, 2, and 3, as we've dispensed with the other items.
Okay, Mr. Clerk, would you mind,
Some
Walking
risk
us
of us
through?
setting an all-time.
All right. So item number 1 is the citizen member appointments for the Real Community and Library Advisory Committee. And there are, 3 slots available, or vacant slots for a 2-year term expiring December 31st, 2027.
so I know that I have one name in mind. Councillor Mays, have you had a chance to look over the list?
I have one name in mind, but is there a list?
There is a
No,
list, I
haven't.
think. It's submitted by the clerks. There's a list of resumes. May I propose the person that I think we should appoint?
Sure.
Okay, his name is Jonathan Desrosiers. I know him personally, and I think he would be an excellent candidate.
Okay.
So that would be my nomination.
Sure. I'll hold off on my person until I double-check the rest of the list.
Okay.
You say there's 3 citizens, so
Yeah,
I'll look for one as well.
Okay, so should we perhaps deal with this later in the meeting, or,
I mean, if we only have one for now, we can put that one forward.
okay?
Yeah.
So if one of my colleagues wants to, actually, does somebody want to take the chair? Because I
I've
know
got the chair.
Jonathan, so.
I've got the
Okay, so if with Councillor Chambers in the chair, I move to appoint Jonathan Desrosiers to the Library Advisory Committee. I think he's an excellent candidate and will do well on that, in that function.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
Okay, so I'll take the chair back, or are you in the chair?
Well, it's St. Boniface Museum Board, so that's you
Okay.
again.
Okay, yes. Mr. Clerk, I've circulated an email. Would you mind reading the names into the record that I recommend for the board?
For sure. So for the St. Boniface Museum Board, there are currently 4 vacancies for a 2-year term to expire on December 31st, 2027, as well as 1 councillor citizen designated term for a 1-year term expiring December 31st, 2026. For the two-year term, vacancy, there, the names are Carol Pelchat, Sebastian Roldan, Janelle Donnelly, and Maureen Matthews. And for the council citizen designate for the one-year term, that representative is Jerome Marchildon.
Okay, and so I'll introduce the names. So it is the charter responsibility of the Riel Community Committee to name the museum board, the board that is in the Winnipeg Charter to operate the museum. And I have spoken to the director of the board, and after having taken into account the conversation with the director, these are the names that I recommend.
Okay?
And
Go ahead.
is Shelley Glover still on the board and some other, I don't know if we name all of the board, Matt, you would probably know
Yep.
that.
So if you're not seeing the Honorable Shelley Glover on the list, it's because they are still within their term.
Good.
And so
Okay.
it's rotating terms, and Ms. Glover is still, or the Honorable Ms. Glover is still on the board. I was in a meeting with them yesterday.
Yeah, good, okay. No, I've had, I've had some run-ins with the Honorable Madame Glover over there, but Matt cares about the museum. I would very much want to keep her voice on there, so that's good. Thank you, Matt.
It certainly is there.
Yeah.
So I will call the question. All those in favor?
All right.
Opposed, carried. So moving on to item 3, I'll give the chair back to Councillor Allard, and I will be recusing myself on this one.
Okay.
Okay? Just give me.
Yeah, can you just mute that? Thank you.
There we go.
Is it, we'll let Councillor Chambers.
Okay, I think we get a reasonable, I think Councillor Chambers
Yeah.
is out of the room. Okay. So Councillor Mays, what are your thoughts on this? Or Mr. Clerk, what are we ruling on right now?
This would be an extension of time for the subdivision rezoning at 180 Creek Bend Road.
Okay.
Time extension will be extended till October 28th, 2026.
And what says the public service?
Just two recommendations is the one that the time limit to satisfy the coming into force provisions of the bylaw number 52/2022 be extended to October 28th, 2026. And then the standard clause that they include is that the proper officers of the city be authorized to do all things necessary to implement the intent of the foregoing. Those are the two recommendations of the Winnipeg Public Service.
Okay, so Councillor Mays, I don't know about you, but we see these often. The public service is recommending extension.
Yeah, and I mean, this one, there were some issues with Councillor Chambers, but he's now recused himself, which is fair.
Sorry.
Oh,
We also have Andy Savage from Property and Development to speak on any matters.
Oh, okay.
should we hear for just a
sure.
story from the public service?
Yeah.
Given the apparent potential problematic nature of this issue?
Good idea.
Okay.
Good morning, councillors, Mr. Clerk. Apologies that I'm not there in person. I had another meeting just before this, so I just jumped in. So yes, we are recommending that the extension be approved. This original application was to create 2 lots, one to rezone to an RMFM, multifamily dwelling, to allow for the construction of a 200 dwelling unit, as well as dedicate public reserve along the river. So at this point in time, the applicant, on behalf of the owner, has requested this 4th extension of time to meet some requirements financially to continue the project. Securities haven't been posted to date. However, the Public Service does support this extension to October 28th, 2026 to uphold the integrity of the development and council's timeline.
Okay, so it sounds like everything's in order. Councillor Mays?
Did they get their application in on time for an extension? Because I had a resident who was told he had to come all the way back around and come through again because he was too late in asking for the extension, so, oh yeah,
No,
okay, so October
they
17th.
submitted on time.
Okay, so Winthrop applies, yeah, prior to expiry, it looks like. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. It'd be uncharacteristic of Mr. Winthrop to slip
miss-
up on
to
that.
miss anything.
All right, so I will, I have no further questions.
Do you want to move the public service recommendation,
I will
Councilor?
move the public service recommendation.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary, carried. We bring back Councilor Chambers?
The agenda is finished at the moment, so
Okay, well, do you want to move, are we moving adjournment or is there new business?
We knocked off the one new business thing, so I
Okay.
think we can, no further delegations. Fastest meeting I think we've ever had.
We've had some pretty fast ones.
Yeah, of late, that's fair.
I move adjournment.
Okay, Councilor Chambers moves adjournment.
Fantastic.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Contrary, carried.
Stand adjourned.